The Knicks won 3 of 4 against the Cavs in the regular season, but starting Saturday, can they beat them in the official 7-game series in the first round of the NBA playoffs? That's the question. So let's bring in New York Post basketball reporter Zach Braziller because he's got the articles and the answers to kick off the Knicks postseason run. Zach, what's going on, my man? It's playoff time in the Mecca. First thing they're going to have to do, they're going to have to stop Donovan Mitchell. But that's a lot easier said than done. In fact, you wrote that the Knicks have a secret weapon, associate head coach Johnny Bryant. How, Sway?
Well, I mean, he's very close with Mitchell. He was, basically Mitchell has said he loves the guy to death, that he's credited Johnny Bryant with his development into a 4-time All-Star. A lot of people thought that was a big part of why the Knicks had a really good shot at getting Mitchell was because of Johnny Bryant. Johnny Bryant knows everything there is to know about him. Now, let's be fair, too. Mitchell did average 31.8 points a game against the Knicks this year, so Bryant didn't exactly help them during the regular season when it comes to stopping Mitchell. Look, I don't think you're stopping him. Great players you don't stop. It's more about just kind of containing them and not letting them go wild. So I think that's really the Knicks' philosophy here is you just don't want Mitchell just to completely dominate this series. Look, the Knicks beat the Cavs 3 of 4, even with Mitchell averaging 31 a game. So, they clearly did something right. And I do think Bryant helps because he knows Mitchell so well. But I don't think they're just going to stop the guy.
Yeah, you got to try and hold him to be Peter Parker and not Spider Mitchell. But that, again, that's easier said than done. Also in your article, man, you reported that Julius Randle is making progress, but he's yet to take part in contact drills due to that sprained left ankle that's kept him sidelined since March 29th. So is there any noteworthy update on Randle? And does this series, the way it's formatted, actually help him health-wise?
Look, it clearly helps both teams. Not only do the Knicks have Randle, the Cavs' best perimeter defender, Isaac Okoro, is dealing with the knee injury. He's been out since March 26th. He's kind of in the same boat as Randle, where he's practicing but not doing everything. And he's really a question mark as well. With Randle, he is progressing. He is doing stuff. He didn't have the boot on Sunday. I do think that's positive, but we're not in practice. We don't know exactly what he's doing. We don't know how he looks. By Saturday, I believe it would be 17 days from the ankle injury. My coworker, Mike Vaccaro, wrote that if he's not quite right, the Knicks should wait because of the way this series is spread out. And, I know people love Obi, but there's no question if Randle's not Randle, it makes it a lot harder for the Knicks to win this series. I don't think there's any question about it. Like, he's going to play in the series. I don't have any doubts about that. The big question, though, is what is he going to give you? Is he going to be 50% of Randle, 70%, 80%? Is he close to 100? That, to me, is the big question.
Zach, I want to talk to you about head coach Tom Thibodeau. Like, all the Twitter GMs throughout the season were using the hashtag fired Tibbs. Now he's got them in the playoffs. But does Tibbs need this playoff series win?
No, I don't think so. Look, if the Knicks are look bad like they did 2 years ago, they lose in 4 or 5 games, will there be some kind of consternation, kind of concern? Is he really the guy to take them forward? Yes, from the outside world, but I don't think inside. Leon Rose hired him. Tibbs has incredible support. You look at what he's done with a lot of these young players, whether it's R.J. Barrett, Quickly, Grimes, even Miles McBride. There's this narrative about Tibbs that he's extremely rigid, that he doesn't like playing young players, and it's just not true. Look at this year. He rode the young guys. They have a top 5 offense in the NBA for a guy who's known as a defensive coach. I think he kind of shattered some myths about him that he's not willing to adapt and play young players. But look, clearly you want to see a better showing in the playoffs this year than they did 2 years ago. They're not a title contender. I think we all know that. They're not the Bucks. They're not the Celtics. They're not Philly. But I do think the Knicks are in a very good spot moving forward to where they can get that star player when he becomes available because of all their assets and their young players and become a title contender. And nothing I've seen in 3 years makes me think Tom Thibodeau cannot be the coach to lead them to that title if they get that player. I think he's done a fantastic job here. I think he did a great job this year. He did a great job 2 years ago. Last year, he didn't do a great job. Last year they had injuries. Leon Rose didn't do a great job putting together kind of an older team. And Tibbs didn't do a great job. But 2 out of 3 years, he's done a very good job. 2 out of 3 years, they're in the playoffs. Let's not forget that if they don't win this series.
All right, I'm with you on that one. I just had to ask for the retweets. All right, final thoughts on the series.
I think people are, at least around here, are kind of underrating the Cavs. You have 2 all-stars in Garland and Mitchell. They have elite rim protection with Evan Mobley and former net Jarrett Allen. They got guys who hit the three. They have home court. The odds makers have made them a huge favorite. Now, maybe part of that's Randle. I'm a little surprised at how much of a favorite. I'm going to pick the Cavs in 7. I think it's a really good series. I do. I think the Knicks play really well. I think Brunson has a great series. I just think they don't have quite enough. And, the difference could be Randle. I can easily see the Knicks being down 2-0 to start this series, and it's really hard to come back when it's 2-0. The Cavs have been absolutely fantastic at home all year. Not great on the road, but great at home. It's going to be hard for the Knicks to win a game in that building. I just think the Randle, if you had a fully functioning Randle, I think you'd have a really good shot to maybe steal one of those first 2 and kind of take command of the series. And I just don't think that's going to happen.
Well, it all goes down on Saturday, Game 1 of the NBA playoffs. We got Cavs, Knicks, 6 p.m. Zach, thanks for joining us.
Hey, my pleasure. Should be fun.